Well, hey guys, what's up? What is going on out there today? Hey, it's Brent Abel here at webtennis.com with another episode of the Tennis Mindset Project, a daily dose of some tough love. Now and then, actually most of the time. Today is a pre-record as I'm going to be on the court today during our 2:30 time in Pacific time zone if I go live. So I'm going to pre-record this one to get something out there for you today. Look, this is a quote. After all, myelin is living tissue. And uh, let's just get straight into it. Let's just get straight into this. And the reason that this is such a big deal is, at least for me, it made a huge difference in terms of learning more about how to learn. And there's a great book out there by Daniel Coyle called The Talent Code. And if you have not picked up this book, I highly recommend it. I strongly recommend it, and just start marking it up, right? Whether you get the paperback or the Kindle version, or you can take notes or you can highlight stuff, just do that. And I think you're going to find that you're highlighting stuff right and left. You're going to go back, you're going to start to read the book again. You go, my God, why did I not highlight this? This is crucial. So I don't know about you, but for me, it takes me a couple, two or three times when I got to read a book to really kind of dig in and really get some clarity on it. Other guys can read it for the first time and they're done. Not me. Maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed. Whatever. But anyway, this is one of my favorite books about the reality of how we learn, assuming that you want to get better. If you're not that kind of player who really is kind of passionate about wanting to improve, level up to some place you've never been before, that's fine. Look, if you're happy with your game and you just enjoy getting out there and playing and all that, that's cool, right? So if that's you, maybe this message is not for you. But if you're that kind of player who really, really loves or really, really is passionate about becoming a better player, then two things. Number one, get this book, The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. And this is one of the and then number two, this is one of the highlights that I just keep going back to, and that is, I'm going to read it to you and then kind of go through it for you a little bit, give you my interpretation of what I think it is or what I think it means. Is that number one, struggle is not optional; it's neurologically required. In order to get your skill circuit to fire optimally, you must, by definition, fire the circuit suboptimally. You must make mistakes and pay attention to those mistakes. You must slowly teach your circuit. You must also keep firing that circuit, practicing in order to keep myelin functioning properly. After all, myelin is living tissue. And so if you don't know what myelin is, I would do a Google search on it. It's fascinating. It's the old school thing used to be back in the day when I was growing up and trying to learn either baseball or whatever sport it was, tennis. They would say, well, you just got to groove that shot, right? And grooving it is sort of the old school way of saying you got to repeat this thing over and over. And as you're grooving it, you're going to make some mistakes along the way. And if you get frustrated with mistakes, if you get angry or upset, which is what I used to do all the time, you just don't ever learn. You just stop the learning process. You stop the myelination process, which is, it's biologically this white tissue that actually wraps around the neural circuitry in terms of when we want to fire that thing that we're grooving. Let's say, for example, on a topspin forehand, the more that you extend yourself, the more that you try to get better at something, the more that you get out of your comfort zone and then start to make some mistakes, which would be normal because you're kind of reaching for a new level, the more you have to be in tune with, okay, what was the mistake? How am I going to learn from it? How am I going to teach myself? And you just got to pay attention to those mistakes. There's absolutely no value when you make a mistake, getting frustrated, getting angry, getting upset, making excuses, telling the whole world out there, oh, well, I know what I did wrong. There's no value in that. Absolutely no value. It doesn't help the myelination process keep going. So I want you to get this book, The Talent Code, if you haven't already done so. The author, again, is Daniel Coyle, Coyle, and just get into it. just do a deep dive on it. There's a lot of references to tennis in there. There's also references to soccer and some other sports. There's references to music. The opening of the book is fascinating, and I'm not going to even spoil it for you. It's just too good. But just to go back to the very top, struggle is not optional, assuming you want to become a better player. It's neurologically required. And so if you think about that, if you really think about or neurologically how we actually get better at something, then we have to struggle. We have to make mistakes. We have to reach for a skill level that we're not at yet. And we have to experiment with it and see what it's like at that higher level and make mistakes along the way. And then be really aware of what those mistakes are and just start teaching ourselves what to do instead. And so I'm not doing a great job of articulating it. My apologies. If you read the book, you'll absolutely get it. Maybe like me, you need to read it 2 or 3 times. But certainly, absolutely, you got to make some notes. You got to take some notes. And what I like to do from time to time is go back into just my notes and reread those. And lots of times I read it, I go, oh my God, now it's clear. Now I've got some clarity of what that thing is. So anyway, guys, look, hope this has been helpful today. Any questions, any comments, any remarks down below in the comments area, let me know. Or if you want to keep the conversation private, we can do that as well. Just shoot me an email with whatever's on your mind from today's episode over at Brent, BRENT, @webtennis.com. All right. Again, hope this has been helpful. It is time now. We got to get out there. We got to help some other human being have a great day today. Guys, see you again next time.